Good afternoon, everybody. This is a video about relationships, and I wanted to give a few pointers on relationships according to the imago therapy. When people come and speak to me about their relationships, often they come when it's already been a whole long time on conflict. Conflict, naming, blaming, and criticizing. And unfortunately, that will not change the relationship to a more loving scenario at all. So to maybe return it to a loving relationship, we need to go back to finding the reasons why we got involved, why we got married, or why we are in a long-term relationship with our partner. And we need to start praising more and not naming or blaming or projecting onto the other person. Because what was found in a lot of studies is that conflict between two people, in other words, the alchemy between two people, does not change. It always stays the same. So the conflict that we might have about our behaviors or our children or certain things about the in-laws never changes. So if we don't change, if we don't improve our communication skills, our way how we communicate, because communication is the basic foundation, the most important foundation to any relationship succeeding, to make compromises in that. Because our conflict style does often not change unless we become very aware that our conflict style on naming and blaming is not going to bring us a good result. Also not stonewalling, in other words, where we basically just shut down and we don't communicate anymore and we walk away. Or we flood, in other words, we just burst out in tears, burst out, and we say everything that we will regret for years thereafter, and actually overwhelming our partner. Very often women do this, and they overwhelm the partner with past and present situations that they are uncomfortable with and unhappy with, which does not bring a resolution. So it's very important that we realize that relationships are based on acceptance and acknowledgement and trust and love and commitment and respect here for each other and accepting each other's different values and beliefs and not having to find a common denominator here, and also not to agree to disagree, but to allow each one their own ideas, their own beliefs, their own morals, and find a compromise on this one. In other words, nobody is right or wrong, but we choose our battles wisely, and then we agree together on certain new ways of handling, for instance, the children, or how we want to really go about it to communicate better about things. It's always important to stay in the present and not to drag the past into a present conflict. What is also very important is that we keep the relationship alive, that we keep it sparkling by really putting all aside and having regular dates, to really go on dates and to speak about our dreams and our inspirations and our goals and where we would like to go, and really make it fun, because a lot of relationships at the moment have sort of settled in a moaning, groaning, complaining, and criticizing way instead of living in the present and being happy for each other and being grateful to each other and for one another, because tomorrow is never promised to us. So to also realize that a relationship is really not a given, but it's a blessing. When we choose it to be a blessing, then we can work better at our areas of not so much conflict as different viewpoints. Then we can also see each other as individuals to be not codependent, but interdependent in the relationship is very important. If that is what you chose from the beginning of your relationship, I'm not even speaking here about codependency or dependency on each other, for a woman being dependent on the man for her finances, or otherwise a man being dependent on his wife for finances, because that becomes a business contract and not really a relationship, an interdependent relationship, which is based on love and respect and acceptance and acknowledgement. I want to leave that here and want to stress the point of praising one another, having fun in the relationship, having laughter in the relationship, and really making an effort to also really date on regular basis without family, without children, just to bring back the connection between two people. And because what is very important in the relationship is always the kindling of the friendship and the passion that two people have from the beginning, and that they want to keep alive. I wish you well for today, and if you want to get hold of me, go to my website, mariettatiernissen.com.